Hey, New Life. I'm John, and I'm here with
Kira.
And to my right is Deacon Isaiah Moore. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Huh?
Glad to have you. So we are on our last of the 7 last words. And the last scripture for the day is going to be Luke 23:46, which says, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And this scripture has to do with reunion and placing your life in God's hand. So, Deacon Isaiah Moore, do you have any insight for us about this particular scripture?
So I think we kind of know how we got here. Jesus has lived this sin-free life, and now he's going through this brutal execution as an innocent man. So we know how he got to this hill. And when we imagine Jesus, we think of grief, pity, and he's beaten, he's broken, he's bruised.
Right.
But we miss the celebration in that he's seconds away from victory.
Right.
How would you tell someone about that part of Jesus that maybe doesn't know him? How would you be able to explain what you just explained to us, to them, just out in the real world?
I mean, I think that, Jesus had a ministry that was relatable. I think that when we think of him, we like Pastor said before, we imagine him as a happy baby boy being born in a manger. We imagine him as being beaten and bruised and broken on this cross. But we just don't imagine him in all power. We don't see him in all might with all power with the sword in his hand. We don't see that.
Right.
And so I think that when you say the victory is literally seconds away. They can't see that. Everyone's in front of them. They can't see that he is about to conquer everything. Our salvation is on the other side.
Yeah.
So I think it's just something that I with my own thoughts on this scripture. You have to know your audience. And when Jesus is saying,
That's good.
Father, he's knowing his audience. He says, I commend my spirit into your hands. He's knowing his audience. So you have to know your audience when you're talking about Jesus Christ.
So what advice would you give to someone who is struggling to put their everything into God's hands? Like, it's very hard for someone to just place their entire faith in Jesus Christ. So what would you say to those people?
I would say, first of all, just give yourself grace. We all struggle with that. I don't think there's anyone who's done it perfectly. A lot of it, like a part of Jesus' ministry, is intention. He's living a life free of sin with intention. Everything he does with intention. Every person that he speaks to is with intention. And if we live a life with intention, we'll get to that goal. So it's not, it's not always, we may not accomplish what we're looking for, but if we have the right intentions, God sees our heart. So give yourself a little grace and don't be concerned about being so perfect. It's impossible.
Okay. Well, I have one other question. Could you expound upon a way that you give yourself grace? Just to give people an example of, because I don't think a lot of people know how to give themselves grace.
I think that, I'm a perfectionist. I do like to try to do things the
Same
right
here.
way.
Same here.
It's tough for me when I can't complete that goal.
Yeah.
But it depends if my heart is in the right place, and that's where I kind of feel like if I'm doing something for attention, then it doesn't matter what I did,
right? Because
I did it for the wrong reason. So when I'm giving myself grace, I'm really focusing on my duties in the morning. That scripture saying, Father, I give my spirit into your hands.
Yes.
It's just something I have to tell myself every day. Father, I give my marriage into your hands. Okay. I give my children into your hands. I give my life into your hands. I give my career into your hands. And it's, it's not going to always be perfect.
Right.
But if Jesus, even in his last breath, he's given us something that we can go on forever.
Okay.
Just remember, he's given his spirit. What do we give it every day?
All right, Isaiah. So is there any last words you would like to share with the audience?
I think that something that is missed in those last words is that, we have to realize that there is no love without choice. God gives us choice. Yeah. Jesus is not on that cross without making the choice to give his life for us. And so just remembering that we have a choice. We talked about, saying, Father, I give my spirit into your hands every day. But that's a choice in the things that we do. And so it's a choice in the prayers that you say. It's a choice that you believe that those prayers are going to come true. It's a choice that you have to make, to know that God is in control of our lives. We just have to do our best to let him lead.
All right.
Isaiah, that was incredible. Thank you so much for joining us. And New Life, that was our last word of our 7 last words.